So just to kind of throw it out there too, today for the runners, we have P-Train, Chimo, Kirito, and Fred, aka Durf, who I will probably keep pronouncing the entire time as Fred. As always, we wish the best run for our runners today. Hopefully, they do not get anything that's going to stop them or cause them, to take a longer path. I am not going to do the commentator's jinx. I refuse to do the commentator's jinx. But we are starting.
There's a big 20 in Sanctuary.
And we have Vanilla Sword actually in Link's house. Okay, so you almost want to start it off as a sure sword? Okay. And it looks like on that map check, we have a crystal in Eastern Palace and a crystal over at, I think it was Desert Palace. It looks to be also a red pendant at Tower of Hera. So I'm sure our runners are... I'm sorry.
And how you got the hearts and the big 20 from Chimo side.
Right, and it looks like we get...
Oh, cape.
Well, a cape is actually going to be nice because in case our runners do have to do AGA 1, we now have access. We have cape so we can get through the door. So if we need to fight him, we can. Of course, nobody wants to fight AGA, this early, especially any kind of a game. But if we have to, we are capable.
Looks like he's either going for hideout or a mushroom check.
P-Train is going to go for a mushroom, but he's just trying to get a bomb. This way he can go ahead and do some of the other checks. 20 rupees over on mushroom. And it looks like our little guys are giving us fairies. Ooh. 20 rupees on ledge.
And Lost Woods.
Right, but the thing with Lost Woods is, and by the way, a bundle of 6 in the front entrance of Escape. So, I mean, I kind of understand where P-Train's going. You get the money a little bit early because you need the $100 from the bottle vendor. And in case you do need other bombs, you need an extra 50 rupees. But with the one bomb plus the 63 rupees already, he's going to likely run into some more bombs. But just to open up the back of Blind's hideout is going to be very, very nice for him.
And we find a big 50. Shield. Another sword. And green.
Right, and in Escape, normally in the boomerang chest, we found Cane of Samaria.
That'd be very helpful later on in the run when they head to the Dark World.
Oh yeah, so the big thing about Cane, for those who don't know, Cane is going to be our way of doing some of the fun glitches like Diver Down and Icebreaker. Icebreaker, you do need the Cane of Samaria. Diver Down, you can either use the Cane of Samaria or bombs, however you want to do it. And P-Train, yep, having that extra money to go ahead and buy another 10-pack. So we get an early access, by the way, to Master Sword. Huh. And we still haven't done any of the other checks, so we don't know anything just yet.
Oh, yeah, Power Glove. That's interesting.
Ooh, Power Glove in Chicken Hut. So that means that we do have access to the top of Death Mountain. However, we don't have access to go to the right side, and we can't go to Tower of Hera yet because we do need a mirror. One heart container. The Power Glove Wow, we have Dark World access. Really, in sub 5 minutes?
Oh, this is be very interesting race now. It's anyone's race.
The
It's a
fact that
Harkin.
the fact that we have Power Gloves sub 5 minutes. I mean, for our runners, it's going to open up so many options for them. They're going to have to do probably some other checks to see, you know, where we're going from here. Another bundle of sticks in the back of the pub or inn. So we have shield, we have master sword, which Chimo being the first one to pick up a master sword.
I get a library check. And it looks like just a heart on heart piece on library.
Yep, just a piece of heart. And Kirito fighting all the way down there just to get some bombs, some blueberries.
And we're gonna get a check on the maze.
So we're gonna do P Train's gonna do a blind run of maze, all just for a bundle of sticks, which I can kind of understand. You know, might as well run it, so this way, you know, if you save and quit, you save and quit, but you don't have to double back. Saves a little bit of time. And it looks like Kirito is wanting some more bombs. So Kirito is going to go ahead and go for...
Ooh, and we get an early back escape. This could pay off big.
And let's see what's in the back. We have a heart piece and 300
rupees.
All right, 300 rupees isn't bad. You know, we don't know if we need to go to the King of Scammers or not. And it looks like P-Train also picked up now and had the sword and now has the Master Sword. Fred also has the Master Sword, so Kirito is the only one left who does not.
Piece of a Shimo piece of a bloopy on the way to inside dam.
Right, and we're getting our South Shore checks. Which only, you know, a 5 rupee in the front of the dam. I mean, this early in the race, money is money. Fred picking up the Titans. So now Fred can once again do anything that, you know, go anywhere that he wants to when it comes to rocks.
And Kirito getting the power glove. Back of Chicken Hut.
Our first one inside of Mini Moldorm Cave, taking quick work of the Mini Moldorms. We still haven't seen Pearl yet.
Red rupee, another rupee pack, a bundle, red boomerang, and a cane of Berna. Pretty interesting mini Moldorm, I must say.
It was, you know, that's a pretty solid mini Moldorm. It would have been nicer with the Pearl. Looks like P-Train is going to go ahead and check Agina and see what we have inside of this cave. Chimo going to go for Sashirala. And it's the...
We find a blue boomerang. Not bad.
So we know where both the boomerangs are now, which is great. We still don't have a bow, so can't really defeat anything inside of Eastern yet. And we really want that Moon Pearl.
You know, green rupee.
Rupee, and a piece of heart in Sashirala's hut.
And he's gonna go check Mini Moldorm now. He's receiving his Cane of Berna and his red boomerang.
Right, and it looks like Chimo is going to go ahead and dive into Eastern and hope that Eastern has our Moon Pearl, our precious Moon Pearl. Which the only real place our Moon Pearl could be. I mean, I have seen several times where the Moon Pearl has been inside of Eastern, and there are instances where the Moon Pearl is actually on Pyramid Ledge. So, Aga 1 is still a thing.
We only have a map and cannonball chest.
Yeah, so Aga 1 so far, as we know, is still a possibility. Nobody has, as far as our runners go, has checked with Old Man or with Spectacle Rock.
We're getting an early ice rod. Ice rod.
Right, and this is our first Ice Rod Cave check. A compass so far.
Oh, under the bow!
So we can go
that's
ahead
going to
and...
help a lot.
Oh, yeah, that means, though, that Chimo is going to have to go into here twice without a bow and not progress any further. However, P-Train can easily see, well, I got to go to a crystal on Eastern. Let's go there. I have the bow. We're fine. First, going to go ahead and check to see the item on Lake Halia Island, and it is just a piece of heart.
Blue rupee and
Blue rupee in Eastern, which means that the master key is in its vanilla chest, which also does mean, I believe, that we have the blue rupee. We've seen at least the map or the compass. So the big chest could be something, or it could be nothing.
I learned pendant is measuring my ear.
Fred also picking up the bow and now go into Eastern without any problems and clear out all of Eastern. And Kirito finally going to do the South Shore checks. Hopefully we'll also visit the Ice Rod Cave and we'll pick up their bow as well before diving Eastern. You know, Chimo made a call, and it's a pretty solid call. Just so happens, probably should have gone to Ice Rod.
While Fred's making his way over to the hopo.
Right, doing a nice fake flippers. Might as well check out Hobo. We can't check Waterfall Cave because we need Moon Pearl, and Big Chest only giving us a piece of heart. So Chimo's gonna have to leave and try and check some other place.
I have bundle 6 from Hobo and outside.
So with that bundle of sticks, that means that Fred would either have to, at this point, decide to go to our big money stealer, aka King Zora himself, or...
And Kirito is if you know.
Yep, and actually, now that I saw with P-Train, it does look like we have both map and compass from Eastern. So Big Chest and Armos Knights have something for us.
Just whether or not it wound up being progression.
Right. Fred, trying to go into the waterfall, remembers the fact it doesn't have Moon Pearl, so can't check anything in Waterfall. Our ledge for Zora only has 50 rupees, however. Looks like Kirito is now in the dam. So we
see what King Zora has for us today.
Right. 90% of the time, it's going to be absolutely useless. Zora likes to steal our money and then give us nothing. Let's see. Oh, and we got
flippers.
Okay. Vanilla Flippers off Zora. That's very interesting.
Yeah, I
Okay,
would say so
Zora.
myself.
So now we'll be able to check Waterfall Cave, and if we have to do Swamp Palace, we can do it as long as we get the mirror and the hook shot. P-Train getting the big key for Eastern, and can now go ahead and deal with the Armos Knights and clear everything out that he has to. Our Moon Pearl, however, and Boots are locked behind King Zora.
Ugh, that's really big at this point. And it's a heart piece from the East Palace big chest.
I'm sorry. I can chat. Boots and Moon Pearl are behind Zora.
And we're getting an early King Sim check. King Sim, the big heart piece.
Yep, just giving us a heart container. So, Zora, I guess, today not being a total scammer. This is pretty much a shocker.
And Kirito also going to get his bow momentarily. We have a check from Bonk Rocks as well.
So I wonder at this point how many of our runners are not going to go to Zora and are immediately just going to go ahead and go Aghanim 1.
That'd be very funny to find out. And well, we're on our Armos fight on P-Train's side. We have Kirito going towards Eastern and Saharashlas. And you have a bundle of sticks on Armos Knights.
Sorry to interrupt you, but a 5-6 crystal combination on Thieves Town and Swamp Palace, and our other pendant that we needed was over at Ice Palace. So we know where we have to go now.
Bundle of sticks and big 20 in chess game.
So now we have to see where the big brain is going to be, because Fred obviously can go now wherever he wants to. T-Train, taking the time, I guess, to say, you know what? It's an AGA 1 seed. We're going to go AGA 1 this. Chimo going up to Death Mountain.
Oh, yeah. An Arrow of Destiny.
We got the Arrow of Destiny from the old man. Oh, boy. Blueberries from Sea House. I'm still shocked that Zora was our full progression. Sword was on top of Spectacle Rock, and inside of Spectacle Rock only has 20 rupees.
And also we have a digging game check as well.
So, for those who don't know, normally in the digging game, and it was
And
only
we have
7 gigs for Fred. Normally in the digging game, what ends up happening in the regular Zelda is you have basically over 30, roundabout, anywhere between a couple to over 30 chances of 30 digs for actually getting the item. For the randomizer, we say no, you have at most 30 digs that you can do, and you're going to get the item. A little way that we kind of help everything out, especially with the cost being so high. But Fred making sure while he's there at the dig game, with not enough money, let's just go ahead and get extra rupees. So when I need to do anything, I have a little bit extra.
Chima picking up his bundle of sticks.
P-Train hoping that his progression is going to be in Escape. And it looks like Chimo has enough money to go ahead and do the water check. So we'll probably head to Zora. We'll see the progression. and then become probably very happy that there's no AGO 1 required.
Hype Cave and check and chat. Get your emotes in for Hype Cave.
Let's see if Hype Cave is actually hype today or if it's not.
Yeah, Heart Piece first, and the NPC. Yeah, Mirror, Heart Piece, another Heart Piece, and the 20. So the Mirror is actually a pretty good find.
So we got 2 heart containers. We have Mirror. I'd give this one, you know, a solid maybe 5. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and maybe say 5 out of 10, only because of the Mirror and because of the possibilities that it opens up for us. Chimo going ahead to check King Zora at this point, going to get the flippers, and then immediately we'll go ahead and check our... No? Are you not going to check Waterfall Cave? Chimo?
He's been missing all that progression, though. Well, we have a Bombos Medallion and K45.
So P-Train gonna go hit up Zora, say hi to Zora.
He's gonna receive his information.
Chimo's got the flippers, doesn't care about swimming. Kirito is going to go ahead and clear out Eastern, grabbing a little extra hearts. Going into the dark room of Eastern can be a little bit tricky. The key with dealing with Eastern with no light source whatsoever is really sticking the arrow in, because once you can go in and you can stick an arrow, it's really easy to go ahead and progress further. You know, the Groyas, they'll stand still. You just got to walk up to them. But Kirito, unfortunately, taking a death.
You see him dip into Thieves Town.
Chimo hopefully going to clear out Eastern and then maybe check out Waterfall. P-Train, however, looks like going directly to Waterfall, which means P-Train will go ahead and get our Moon Pearl and our Boot of Swiftness. So we can run really, really fast now. So we have a clear item with Bombos and a Samaria. We have both invisibility items. We know that Thieves Town is one of our 5-6 crystals.
Oh yeah,
Ether.
Yeah.
So we're pretty set. Obviously, we have to get our Fire Rod and our Ice Rod because Trinex, Turtle Rock in general is going to be a needed run. So we do have some progression that way. And so far, it doesn't look like Thieves Town is going to require us with the hammer. For those who don't know, with Thieves Town, it is possible that we get a small key. And when you go down to blind, there is one locked door. You actually need the hammer to get to the big chest in Thieves Town. There is a possibility that the small key is in the big chest. So you wouldn't necessarily need the hammer. He has the hammer. Fred completely has the hammer, but there is a chance that we might not even need it. Kirito also grabbing the flippers. That means everybody has flippers.
And all I see in these uncheck is bombs.
And it looks like T-Train is going to go ahead and jump up to Skull Woods, which makes sense. You know, might as well see if we have an item I mean, Zor was our opener for this entire race, so might as well. Who knows? We may have Fire Rod in Skullwoods, or Ice Rod, or Ice Rod. Oh, that's
fine.
great. Chimo, by the way, taking down Armos and has his first crystal. So that means so far that P-Train and Chimo have taken down Easter Palace. Both have exactly one crystal. P-Train, however, taking the hand and warp back all the way to the beginning because he has not gone to Hype Cave yet, so does not have Mirror. And we are going to get our blind fight with Fred. Blind is one of those fights where it is scripted. If you can understand the script and can move along with it, which we're seeing with Fred, it's actually a very simple and very easy fight to do. Fred taking some hits, but is going to pull out the Cane of Berna to kill Blind. So Blind is now done.
Compass.
Has
Compass
and half magic in Skull Woods.
Ooh, that's pretty helpful. At this point,
our runners can go ahead and do everything with regular magic, but having that half magic where you don't really have to worry quite as much is going to be very nice for them. And it looks actually like both Fred and P-Train are probably going to check out the cliff. No, P-Train is going to take an alternate way. It looks like possibly through Skullwoods. Did you happen to catch what was on that ledge?
I did not.
It was chat pointing out it was 5 rupees. We don't care about the $5, but Fred's gonna go ahead and get his ice rod.
Sea house.
So with everything that we have, and we know that Pod is a clearable dungeon as long as you go to Thieves Town first. Fred can make his way over to Pod if he really wants to. Get some progression that way. Chimo picking up his Moon Pearl and boots. Kirito doing a map check, trying to make sure he has everything recorded for where he needs to go.
Fred's gonna pick up his half magic pretty soon.
Yep, P-Train getting his hammer. And now after Thieves Town has full access over to Pod.
And just a heart piece.
So Fred at this point must be really, really excited. He already has flippers. He has boots so we can go fast. Is able to go ahead and pick up most of the rocks. Really what he needs is going to be the hook shot and the fire rod. And at that point, we could use the flute. It would always be nice to free the goose. But do we really need it? We still don't know yet because we may need to dive Misery Mire.
We got a good red ledge check. And just a heart piece.
So this is going to be an interesting race. Especially considering the fact that at this point Fred has checked out most of the places. Maybe we'll check out Catfish while he's up this way. I mean, you might as well before the progression down. Kirito getting the piece of heart and then just saying goodbye. We already have enough money, don't need to proceed further.
Meanwhile, we're getting a catfish check on Fred's side.
Let's see what the good old catfish has for us today. And of course, Fred balking off the side, doing the freeze during the animation.
And it's a tempered sword.
So we have another sword upgrade, which, makes Helmasaur an easy fight with the sword upgrade. Gmo, unfortunately, taking a death. But it's understandable. Take the death, get up to the front. You have a little bit more hearts. You can keep going. B-Train grabbing blind to do the blind fight. And Kirito going to go visit our hype cave. So 30 minutes in. And we've already seen so much from what we need. We already know where everything is as far as the sword upgrades. We have mirror. Realistically, we're still missing hook shot and we're still missing fire rod. Those are the only two items that we're missing before we can officially hit the go mode. Depending, mind you, this is all depending on how Turtle Rock is locked. If Turtle Rock has the Quake Medallion, then we will not be in go mode. However, if by all means it uses Bombos or Ether, we have an early game.
Do finish up Eastern and Pod.
P-Train.
In time, find out some of the rupees in the archery game.
P-Train getting the money so he can go ahead and enter in Pod, because Pod costs a lot of money. For those who don't know, Pod does cost 10 rupees from Kiki just when you walk a certain distance, and then another 100. So we have to make sure that we have enough money as far as that goes. Fred going to deal with Eastern. Once we deal with Eastern, we are going to be very, very close. We can instantly warp right back to Pod. Such a solid play. Way to go ahead and set up for a quick bang out bang out both of them and then move on. Kirito doing our graveyard check, and Chimo going into Thieves Town. Also looks like P-Train will be going up to Hype Cave and will be getting his mirror. So looking at our runners, by the way, it looks like the only one who's checked out Cave 45 is Fred, where we picked up the Bombos tablet. Very interesting. And it looks like Kirito is probably going to head to Catfish. Yes. Kirito will head on over to Catfish and then get the Tempered Sword. But we'll have to go into Thieves Town in order to get the hammer so we can progress over to Pod.
We get an early pyramid check as well. The pyramid is a big 20.
So Pyramid Ledge not showing any progression either. And P-Train immediately saying, you know what, I have Eastern. Let's go take care of Pod. Pod's going to be easy enough to clear. So now we will have one runner who is going to be in Pod, and then another runner who has set himself up for Pod. While Fred does have advantage on items, P-Train does have an advantage with crystals. But the way that this is shaping up, it's still anybody's game.
Yeah, it's still pretty too early to tell right now at this point.
Chima going to clear up blind, and the first chest in Pod giving us a key. So at that point, P-Train is just saying, you know what? Let's go check the other chests. I have more density over here. More likely I'm going to find something.
Smoking.
Oh, are we going to get...
upper strats.
Ooh, let's see some GGs in chat for that hover. I want to see some hover hype. And for those who don't know, it is impossible, by the way, to hover on a keyboard. The amount of input that you have to do is just ridiculous. Smashing that controller as fast as he could in order to do that. Wow. Oh, that just makes me think if P-Train would have done that with access to right side. Brad going ahead and clearing up with Armos Knights. And P-Train heading to the back. I wonder if we're going to get... Yes, we are. We are going to get... No, we're not going to go for hammer jump. Okay. You know, the hovering was perfectly fine for me. One hovering works. One hovering works today. Big key, however, in Pod Chest with... Oh. And we also have... Something giving us a piece of heart. Both of our runners currently in Pod. And now we get the hammer jump. Only giving us 300 rupees. And another sword upgrade in Pod. That means our runners can be getting Butter Sword. Which, mind you, with all of our runners today, realistically, all of our runners are so good that they really don't need a Butter Sword in order to defeat Ganon, but it's always nice to have. And it also looks like we have a shield upgrade as well inside of Pod, which means that our other shield upgrade, I believe, was on top of Spectacle Rock. So in sub 40, we've seen all shield upgrades. We know where all sword upgrades are. What else is this game going to throw at us? Is this seat going to give us silver arrows too at this point? I wouldn't be surprised if we see silver arrows. I really wouldn't.
Chat pointing out silvers could potentially be on Helmasaur.
Oh, if we have silvers on Helmasaur, that means all of our final progression items were in pod. And if all of our final progression items are in pod, then this seed is an Omega Lol at this point. Chimo also getting the Tempered Sword. And we get our first Helmasaur fight. P-Train making quick work of Helmasaur's mask or his plate. And Fred is going to go get the sword upgrade.
Pod down for P-Train.
Helmasaur is down. Pod is done. We will have our first butter sword of the run. We will have our first butter sword of the run soon. Chimo showing, by the way, that the other shield upgrade was on top of Spectacle Rock. Thank you very much for that one.
Chat pointing out the Pendant Ice Palace dip.
Right, we could do Fred could do Ice Palace because he does have Bombos. However, T-Train does not have Bombos. So can't exactly do that one without Bombos or the Fire Rod. And it looks like Chimo is opting out for doing Tower of Hera. No fire source. But in sub 40, we get our first butter sword with Fred. Man, this seed is really something. First, we have to go through Zora.
And we get a Pizza Hut in Sparrow Cave.
Then we get our final progression items over in Pod. And by progression I do mean sword and shield progression. We are not in go mode just yet, or not even in no mode. But we do have
bottle
and 100 rupees.
Yeah, harpies. And a fire rod. Paid 20 rupees. And the only thing is a fire rod. And so here's a fire rod and other.
Chimo right now deciding, you know what? I have Fire Rod. I have Ice Rod. I have the hammer. Titans as well. You know what? Let's go check out the Turtle Rock. Kirito finishing up Thieves Town. Going to be Kirito's first crystal. So that is our first bottle as well for this run.
And it's Quake.
It's Quake. Oh! Oh! We need Quake for it.
The and it's a blue mail. That's fine.
And with bonking, we can go ahead and see at least the first chest. If you can go ahead and comfortably do the hover, you can check out the other chests. But Chimo opting out of it, saying I'm going to check Super Bunny Cave instead. And unfortunately, doesn't get anything over there. Well, we do
And Fred took a death at Helmosaur. I'd like to point that out.
know. Ooh. That hurts. That hurts. So Chimo needs either the book or needs Flute in order to gain access to Desert Palace.
We might get a swamp. Nope, never mind.
Nope, doesn't want to go in there until he gets, the hook shot. Hopefully, I mean, it is possible with the Swamp Palace that hook shot could be in there, but would rather avoid it if possible, and can understand that one. P-Train, however, going to go ahead and going to take a look at our Death Mountain checks over there as well.
And chat pointing out that Ice Palace and Harapace, so we could have something there.
Right, because our only fire source currently is on Chimo. P-Train going to get his first fire source over on the right side of Death Mountain, which means P-Train could take the time to go back into Hera and finish up Hera and defeat a mighty Trolldorm. Kirito and Fred, however, going to go to Purple Chest.
That's just a bundle of arrows.
Yep, we just get a bundle of good old sticks. Oof, I'm actually just noticing this right now. Kirito cleared out Thieves Town, but didn't grab his hammer.
I was gonna set him pretty far behind.
Oof. We'll see when Kirito opens up his inventory if, the one thing about, and shout out to our trackers, they work very, very hard, but sometimes inputs are eaten up. It does happen. P-Train getting ready to do another hover is going to hover to the other side of Hookshot Cave.
And he's going for it.
And we get it.
Get it. And it's just bombs. And we have another chest.
And now with
And
this,
get the rupees. And there's one more chest. Get the hype for the hover.
let me see some. Let me see it, chat. Let me see some hype for these hovers.
And a bundle of sticks.
Oof. So nothing in Hookshot Cave. Oof.
That big.
Perfectly fine though, because we still have the beloved Spike Cave. Might as well check all these things out while we're here.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty smart move for me.
Yeah.
This race.
However, it does look like Fred's deciding to just dig into Swamp. And as another good commentator, a Mr. Professor Renderer would say, never ever underestimate the value of Swamp Palace.
And the compass.
So this swamp, mind you, it is a risk because they could have gone Ice Palace, which means that Fred may have to redive swamp if I mean, and hopefully we find our hook shot, but it is a possibility that Fred may have to redive swamp. With Fire Rod, though, we could have access, by the way, to Ice Palace. We could finish up Swamp, not Swamp, Skull Woods.
Because we can see if Asida could potentially have that hook shot, or if have something like a fetch quest or something.
Sick Boy giving us our red mail. Which, of course, none of these runners really need. I mean, they are skilled enough by themselves. P-Train, gonna go ahead and check our hammer pegs. Unfortunately, P-Train, it is not in there. And with that, Fred has to go to the right, to the left side, and is going to flood it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to see a diver down. For those who don't know diver down, there's two ways to actually do it. You either need Cane of Samaria or Bomb. With Cane of Samaria, what you can actually do is you can hold off to one of the corners. Once you clear up through this little ledge, as you saw Fred kind of running through, you can instantly turn around and place a block down there by jumping into the water and pressing down and to the right for one frame, and then holding down right afterwards. You can do a jump where you can ignore the flooded room. But
there's a Quake medallion.
So, Swamp was our progression for Turtle Rock. Which means, for our runners, it is possible now that we have to go right back in to Swamp Palace and have to redive it, which is fine. Yep, we're going to have to. There's no point in being here. We're going to go back up to, hopefully, right side of Death Mountain and hopefully get everything. Or is Fred going to decide to do Ice Palace?
And it's interesting to see that no one have done Tower of Hera yet. So it could very well be here. And decided to dip out of it.
Right, and it looks like he is going to go over to Ice Palace. Which is a solid call, but at this point, we are almost in no mode. We just need that book or the flute. And it looks like T-Train is also going to dip over to Ice Palace as well. So GMO, by the way, just pointing out, has Mirror Shield and has Butter Sword. And with both of those, GMO's set.
Oh, quick shot. Ice Palace after all. Oh boy.
What was in that chest?
Palace time. It was hook shot, I believe.
Was it hook shot?
Nice. Yes. Check confirming it was indeed hook shot.
Oh boy. Oh man, that means time to go out and finish up Swamp Palace. Oof. That means P-Train will go to Swamp Palace, hopefully checks the left side. And if P-Train checks the left side, we'll have our Quake Medallion, which means he gets access over to Turtle Rock.
Damn.
So we're
Now,
still
we're all just searching for a book, pretty much.
a book or a flute. We can head over to the Desert Palace if we have a flute, because we can go ahead and mirror on over in that direction. We don't have to worry about actually doing anything with the book. So it will be interesting. However, Chimo taking this time saying I have Fire Rod. We're gonna go ahead and just take care of Mothula. Mothula being one of those fights where you have them off in a room with spikes, and the spikes like to come after you, and got to avoid the spikes of doom. But with the butter sword, won't have any issue. And that's it. Mothula's dead. So Skull Woods is done. Mothula giving us a compass. This has been a crazy progression, a fun progression, and a fun seed.
Diver down strategy.
Yep, and Fred is showing us our diver down strategy, which, for those who really want to learn,
And the powder. Oh no.
powder and flooded room. Which for those who really want to learn, diver down or icebreaker or any of our other fun little glitches that we have, there is a community member named Corey who has made these videos that you can go ahead and watch on YouTube, and he gives you step-by-step instructions on how to do them, and even some tips when you may have thought that you messed up and need to redo it. So give that one a watch. So now we are entering our boss fight with Swamp.
And
Making,
not our guy.
making some quick work.
And Evan, Argus down for Fred.
Argus is down, only giving us some blueberries though.
I might have to go back and check bait check.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we saw map or compass in Swamp Palace. I believe we may have seen both, but I am not sure if we're missing one. But Fred just going for it will probably at this point, I would hope. No, actually has both the red crystals, so is gonna go ahead and check Pyramid Fairy. But P-Train, on the other hand, gets the Quake Medallion, easily knows we can go ahead to Turtle Rock.
Anytime we get a pyramid on Fred's side.
Ooh, nice, and Fred showing us a nice dash with the bomb. And so now we're gonna see what's in Pyramid Fairy. And I would almost have to laugh if this was silver arrows. Bundle of sticks and another bottle, another potion.
That'll come in handy in case really of safety. It'd be pretty funny if like silver something was on like bad or something.
Well, I mean, it is very much a possibility at this point that our bat has something. Okay, so after the Pyramid Fairy, yeah, it does look like maybe Fred forgot. Maybe it may have died to Helmasaur and may have to run back to kill Helmasaur.
Bug on Tracker's side.
It could be. It very well could be. Um,
And P-Train making quick Vargas. Getting his bombs and some Palace. Another crystal. And Shimo's on its way to pick up his hookshot as well.
So now that we've crossed the 1 hour mark, I like to take a little bit of this time to give a shout out to our trackers today. We have for our lovely trackers, Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna and Snaky. Please give our trackers a follow. Also joining me on the comms today, Brightbringer. Thank you for joining me. Please give him and myself at NAR a follow. And our runners, P-Train, Chimo, Fred, aka Durf, and Kirito, a follow. Also, if you would like to join in on any of the commentating, the tracking, head on over to our Speed Gaming Discord and join the ALTTPR community. And speaking of which, if you're interested in running randos or just trying it out, feel free to check out the ALTTPR community's Discord as well. They are very nice and friendly people, willing to help you out and show you some of the cool things that you can do. Not only the sprite changes that you see with Sonic, we do have a vanilla link. I actually don't know what Kirito is. But besides the sprite changes and all the other fun stuff, please feel free to check that one out too.
Yeah, first dip into to the rock. It's be pretty interesting.
Yep, our Turtle Rock is now opened. So this is going to be fun. We have everything that we need to kill Trinax. And for that matter, T-Train has red mail. He's perfectly fine.
And Brad's making quick work of Helmasaur.
Yep, Helmasaur going to be going down soon from Fred. Chimo, unfortunately, cannot get into Turtle Rock just yet. Does not have Quake. But is going to check Hookshot Cave. Unfortunately, as we know, that Hookshot Cave is not going to have anything for us. There is a bottle up on the floating island, but they really don't need that. So now here comes the really fun question of whether or not Turtle Rock is going to have our flute or our book. And I'm really hoping, and I know Chad is also really hoping, that we can let the goose loose. Chimo setting up for a skip. bypass the big key. And nails it. So our big key is going to be the bottom. It is going to be fire locked, which is fine. Chimo understands that. Let's see what is on our troll dorm this evening. And Turtle Rock having our vanilla big key as well. Chimo making quick run. Oof. Chimo gets the pendant off of our Moldorm. Oh, I can't even speak today. And P-Train probably going to go ahead and hit Mirror Cave.
And let's shout out Speed Gaming for the raid of 72 people. Hey, you have a mushroom.
Yep, our mushroom is found on the ledge, but on big chest inside of Turtle Rock. Chimo going ahead and just taking it from the spikes, reset himself. And it looks like Mirror Cave is only going to give us a heart container. So this is interesting. With Mushroom, we have a chance to go ahead and get Lamp. We have a chance also to get Book. Could be any one of our items.
That's Speed Gaming. It's a party of 40 people.
Welcome to anybody joining us from Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2. Today is a Link to the Past randomizer, and today's randomizer is open world, meaning that we have to get 7 crystals in order to defeat our Pig Lord Ganon for our players to win.
Pointing out that Lamp can't be a mushroom unless Flute is ahead of it.
Right, Flute would have to be ahead of it. But if by all means Flute is ahead, that would be nice. It could be Book as well. And
that's a Book. Laser Bridge.
Yeah, we have Book
Right.
We now have a ladies and gentlemen, at 1 hour and 8 minutes, we are officially in go mode. We have access to everything that we need to from P-Train. So P-Train is officially in go mode at 1 hour, 8 minutes. It's going to go ahead and fight Trinex. And it's actually kind of funny. For a while, I didn't realize why he was called Trinex. And then I stopped and I actually looked at him.
Yeah, he was like, there's 3 neck things.
P-Train making quick work of Trinex's heads.
Very
Has
solid.
the tempered sword. That's all he needs.
Very solid execution on Trinex. Yeah, so Turtle Rock down for P-Train.
Right, and all he needs to do now is just run through Skull Woods
Hard speed
and run through Desert Palace. It looks like Kirito is going to set up for Icebreaker. Nope, it's going to run on through. It still needs to... Unfortunately, Kirito is locked without Hammer, and Hammer is all the way back in Thieves Town.
Yeah, that would really be a big time difference.
Yeah, that would really hurt.
And so we're heading to Palace.
So we're going to have our Desert Palace. Then is going to quickly save and head on over to Skull Woods. And we'll probably see a... Well, I mean, we don't know just yet because we don't know what's in GT. But it could be a possible silverless run. Fred making his way over to Turtle Rock as well. We'll find that the book is over in here. And then we'll be able to go ahead and clear out Skull Woods as well as Desert Palace.
It's a slot.
Vanilla Small Key, which is nice. Well, not Vanilla, I'm sorry. Vanilla Small Key's on Torch. Big Key, however, is on Torch. And we're just going for it. Don't even need to check any of the other items.
Point out that he would be missing the vanilla big key chest. Which could potentially have our flute.
It could. But at this point, we really don't even need flute. We have everything that we need, and we can just go for it. I'll tell you, this seed was definitely a weird seed for our runners to have King Zora be our lock into the Dark World. Literally to go get vanilla. I still can't get over it. To get vanilla flippers, and then after getting vanilla flippers, also gets Moon Pearl at that point. Like, very rare to see that one happen. P-Train making very quick work of Desert Palace, and has finished this one up.
And it's just bombs. And Chris.
So we have one more crystal to go, ladies and gentlemen, and then we'll be playing one of my favorite games. When we get to that point, I will explain to you the game, but we just need that one last crystal. And just to put it in perspective too, by the way, P-Train has already been to Skull Woods. And we could tell by that because Skull Woods had our half magic.
Yeah, so he doesn't really. He can just basically go straight back to Mathula if he wants to.
Oh, that is by all means for P-Train. That's going to be his play. Straight back to Mathula, deal with Mathula, save and quit, go up to Mountain, and then go to GT. Kirito, unfortunately, struggling with Ice Palace. Doesn't realize that he doesn't have the hammer. You know, this is something that... the hammer, by the way, was back in Thieves Town. This is something that I think all runners have done beforehand. Overlooking a chest or maybe mislabeling something on a tracker. It happens from time to time. But Kirito absolutely trying his hardest when it comes to this. So now, Chimo and Fred are both going to be in Turtle Rock, which means that they will get booked, and then they actually will have to do. Chimo will have to, after doing Turtle Rock, will have to do Desert Palace, and Fred will have to do Desert Palace as well as Skull Woods. Mothula just hovering up by the spikes, which is a pain in the butt.
And now we have Mazda down, Compass.
And
So
now we have our final crystal, which means, chat, this means we go to Ganon's Tower and we play my favorite game between numbers 1 to 22. 22 being the tile room. Ganon's key is somewhere. In chat, please put down from 1 to 22 where you think the big key is. I personally
put my bets in randomizer room.
Which chest number though? Because randomizer room is a little bit hard because it could be that they go complete right side, they go complete left side. Which just from 1 to 22, which one do you think it would be?
I'm guessing pretty low for this one.
Pretty low. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stick to maybe like a 7 on this one, just with the races going. It would be funny if we do see a torch big key. It would be absolutely funny with the way that this seed is going. And I believe that it is fully possible. Now, mind you, this is only happening because P-Train is going to be heading over to GT. Afterwards, it doesn't matter which other runner. It's just for this one time.
Yeah,
so I'm going to go ahead with 7. So let's see. In the meantime, while we're waiting for P-Train to go into GT so we can do the counts, Chimo going ahead and clearing things up. Fred gets the book. So now he knows where he's going and also gets the net as well. So Fred is also in go mode at 1 hour and about 17 minutes, 30 seconds. Getting a fairy because of low health and Trinex totally makes sense.
And pretty much it looks like a sub site for P-Train.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Storage room only has 50, but that's 1.
Hmm.
Two. 3.
Hey! Orange Kupo. It's like Orange Kupo has it. Orange Kupo.
So nice job. We got on the 3rd try, we found the big key, which means that we are just going to run through the top of GT. The other thing to note about GT2, by the way, is you want at least 1 key when you head to the top of GT. It is a gamble that there's going to be another key up there, but to guarantee that you're going to be able to clear all the way through the top of GT, you are going to need at least 1 extra key. And it looks like Kirito is going to go through Skull Woods. It is hoping, oof, and is hoping that the hammer is in Skull Woods. And a quick GG to our runners, by the way, who are traversing and who have traversed the Turtle Rock Dark Room completely blind. A little bit hard to do once you get the layout. Not too difficult, but can still be kind of hard to do. Fred is making his way over to Desert Palace. Now that he has the book, he can just move on over. And P-Train, by the way, clearing out the gauntlet, is moving on up to Wizrobes. This is a clean run from P-Train. An absolute clean run.
Asking him in the post Rich what he thinks about his decisions early on.
Kirito taking down Skull Woods Mothula. And Chimo taking care of Trinex, while Fred is going to go take care of Lamos.
And that's a to the rock down for Chimo.
Turtle Rock is done. P-Train taking down Troll Dorm Part 2, Return of the Troll. And the last check is Blueberries.
I would really like to be curious on where the silvers actually were. Or if silvers were even in this seed.
Oh, silvers are in here somewhere. But it could be behind anywhere, because we really don't need silvers in order to defeat Ganon. So P-Train on Aghanim Part 2, aka Geometry Wars, landed a solid 3. 4 needs 2 more. Ooh, gets 1 blueberry. 5 just needs 1 more. And we'll get it on this one. Oh no! Oof. There we go. Lands the 2. And that is it. Ganon is officially loose. And it is P-Train to go fight Ganon Silverless. So, for those who don't know, it is possible for us to fight Ganon Silverless. What P-Train is going to need to do is he's going to need to spin to win. So basically what he's going to do is he's going to, in the last phase, charge up his sword and then spin when Ganon is phasing. And that's going to allow him to hit. But of course, making quick work of phase 1, we are already on phase 2 of Ganon. Oh no, are we on to phase 3 already? Yeah, I believe that we're already on to phase 3. P-Train making quick work of the Bacon Overlord with the mighty Bacon Sword. And that's going to try for the... Yep, and hits the glitch when it comes to the torches. So the torch glitch is very easy to do. What happens is you need to time it just right. When the first torch goes out and before the second torch goes out, you have to light the first one. What that will do is put the second torch in a perpetual state of being on. So you only have to worry about the one. P-Train, however, making quick work of Ganon. I believe only needs one more, and that is it. Let me see some GGs in the chat.
Finishing with a 125.15, I believe.
Well, not just yet, because in order for him to finish, he needs to cross a 1x3 bridge. Once he crosses that 1x3 bridge, he will be done. And that is it. GG's to P-Train with an SRL time of 1 hour, 25 minutes, and 31 seconds. Our first on the restream and the first of our runners today. We will see if P-Train is ready to jump in for an interview.
And looks like he is ready.
P-Train, GG, my friend. G freaking G.
GG.
Hour and 25:30. Man. So let me get your thoughts on the seed. What'd you think of Zora?
I thought it was funny, vanilla flippers, but even more so, Waterfall Cave having both the pearl and the boots, which are both of the items you would need to sequence break that. You could do it with a bottle too, but most people know about the the moon pearl and the boot method, so it's kind of funny seeing both of those in the Waterfall Cave.
Right. I mean, as soon as I saw that one, chat immediately too. Chat blew up with can't believe that the progression to Dark World was King Zora. Especially when the seed was originally looking like Aga 1 was completely required.
Yeah, if it was anything other than the Moon Pearl, I might have done Aga 1 Dark just for kicks. But not with the Moon Pearl. If Moon Pearl is on the pyramid, I will last location that every time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So, let me also ask you this question too. Because this has been boggling my mind a little bit. Can you explain how to do a proper hover since you were the master of hovers on this restream?
So to hover, when you hold the A button to charge a dash, it charges for 29 frames and you dash on the third frame. While the boots are charging up, it doesn't check whether you're standing over a pit. And it takes 2 frames to do that check. So if you charge your boots up for 29 frames or less, you let go for 1 frame, and then you re-grab the A button within that 1 frame, you hover. The game doesn't have time to check whether you're over a pit or not.
Oh wow. That is food hovering. I think hovering in general, while most runners are comfortable with it, I honestly, that was like literally perfect execution on the hover. Like, you are the hover master.
There are people much better at it than I am. On paper, you're technically, because it's 29 frames or less, right? The game runs at 60 frames per second. That's 1 frame or 60 frames per second. 29 frames or less means on paper you're at least doing 2 frame perfect tricks a second. But really, there's a rhythm to it, and if you get the rhythm, it's really not. It's tough. It's very finicky, but it's not impossible. It really isn't. It's difficult, but not impossibly difficult.
Well, I do have to say, and by the way, we are seeing that head is just cash money on it. Didn't really have to care about that one. Let me also ask you this one. When you hit Turtle Rock, right? What was going through your mind before, like, you got the book, for example? Were you expecting loot or book to be in Turtle Rock, or was it just a nice surprise?
So there were a couple of like weird decision points for me in this seed. The first one was finding I guess I sequence broke the mountain and found the fire rod, and I had half a mind to take that straight to ice. But I was like, no, let's go ahead and check just in case I sequence broke the flute and maybe I have access to fire. When I found Bombos in K45, I was instantly like, yeah, we're going straight to ice. Then I found Hookshot in the first chest. That gave me this weird decision point of, do I leave or do I go deeper into ice? And in the moment, I was like, if I was anywhere in the overworld, because there are only 2 items left in ice at that point, if I was anywhere in the overworld and I had access to, let's say, Pendant Mire versus Crystal Swamp, which one would I pick if I was in the overworld? And hands down, I would pick Crystal Swamp over Pendant, just about anything at that point. So I'm not deep into ice. It takes me all of, 30 seconds to get back here? Yeah, let's leave it and let's put everything on Swamp. So that was like decision point number 1 for me, was leaving ice. Decision point number 2 was after Swamp, do I go straight to Turtle Rock or do I clean up Pyramid Ferry, Catfish, and Graveyard Ledge? Ultimately, I would feel worse. So if I cleared Turtle Rock, let's say, 2 situations. First situation, I clear Turtle Rock and nothing's there, so I have to double back on the overworld. That's situation number 1. Situation number 2 would be me clearing the overworld, finding nothing, and then going to the Crystal Dungeon I had to clear anyways. Situation number 2, I would have felt much worse about. So I was like, yeah, let's just go ahead to Turtle Rock, and if we full clear it and find nothing, that's okay, because maybe people did early mountain without the hook shot, then got the hook shot and went back up to the mountain. There are scenarios where I don't lose so much time on the extra mountain climb if Turtle Rock doesn't have my go mode. So I ended up going with that, and of course I found book, and that put me in go mode. Rest is history.
It was an amazing run, a absolutely fantastic run. Thoroughly enjoyed literally every single second of it. So it looks like, by the way, and not to take away from you, but Chimo is almost up on his way to Aghanim 2 and Fred clearing the gauntlet. Let me ask you this question, though. When it came to originally starting out, right, you have Titansmiths super early in game, right? You're locked with Moon Pearl, but as soon as you get it, you immediately move on over to, you start making your way over to Catfish, right? What was your call for, thinking Catfish? Just because you were in the area, or maybe that there was some progression item?
For check Catfish.
Oh, that's right. Maybe you didn't.
Yeah, I did. I went to Village of Outcasts, which gave me the hammer, and then I routed I did check Pyramid Ledge, but ultimately, as soon as I found the hammer, I was going to Pod.
That's right. I'm sorry. You actually didn't. Well, just to let you know, by the way, Catfish was your final sword progression.
Okay.
Catfish would have given you your butter sword. We don't know yet, by the way, where Silver Arrows would have been.
Silvers, I think, were in Desert. Ganon told me that one.
Yeah?
Don't know
Okay.
where in Desert, but somewhere in Desert.
I mean, at least from what we've seen, it was probably on right side of Desert. Wouldn't be surprised. None of our runners really checked out where right side was. But we actually now have Chimo going through our Ganon, and it looks like Fred is also going through soon to Aga 2. So let me ask you this: out of all of the bosses inside of Link to the Past, which is your least liked boss, as it were?
Least liked boss of Link to the Past. It's tough because really, like, it depends what day it is. Honestly, Argus has been annoying me because I've been trying to work on the zero cycle strats, and I keep missing and it's happened in this race. I just keep missing the hook dash, so that's frustrating on a number of levels. Moth can be deceptively annoying because, of course, if it gets near the spikes, it's literally invincible. So there are days where you can't kill it despite your best efforts, and then there are other days where you're like, is this really a boss like this guy? So.
Right.
So yeah,
And
and of course Ganon. You know, Ganon's never fun.
Ganon's Silverless, I think for a lot of people is really really annoying. Just getting, you know, when he's in a position, where is the best area to actually hit him? Because that for some people can take a little bit on getting that exact location. Personally, not a fan of Mothula. Hate Mothula. I hate that room.
Yeah, just the spikes make it really annoying.
It's the moving room and the spikes. Can't do the moving room and the spikes. Both.
No,
Chimo...
there's a quick. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna quickly say that both Chimo and Fred are on their Ganon fight. I'm sorry.
Oh, I mean, you're completely fine. we have other runners that need to be commentated on. No, absolutely no offense taken.
Well, at this moment, Kirito's having a little bit of a hard time because he's missing his hammer. He's overlooked it from Thieves Town. So everybody in chat is silently wishing him to go back to Thieves Town and check. But he's kind of locked as it goes right now. He's just checking on everything that he can.
Yeah, that's rough. That was in the very first chest of Thieves Town.
Yep. Chimo clearing up Ganon, our pig lord, and it just has to walk through a 1x3 bridge. As soon as he walks through the 1x3 bridge, he is finished up. And that is it. Chimo finishes at an SRL time of 1 hour, 37 minutes, and 27 seconds, finishing third on the restream, and P-Train finishing first. Hello, hello, and GG's, good sir.
GG's. Thanks.
So, I asked this question already to P-Train. What did you think of that Zora Vanilla Flippers moment?
I was very dumb and didn't think about it unlocking Waterfall Cave, which definitely set me back a whole bunch. It's just kind of like, oh, these don't do much, but it's kind of an awful location, so maybe somebody won't find them. But yeah.
Did anybody on the restream not last location flippers?
Believe it or not, no. Everybody got flippers and avoided doing the Aga 1 fight.
Yeah, but I'm assuming like nobody got it early, right? Like we all got that last. I mean, maybe you skipped Agina, but flippers were never like, or Zora rather was never a great location in that seed.
No, out of all of you guys, out of all of you guys, I think Kirito could have been the one that may have skipped them. And by the way, just very, very quickly, Fred has finished with an SRL time of 1 hour, 38 minutes, and 34 seconds, finishing 4th on the overall list of our players today. So he will probably come in for an interview very, very soon. Yeah, no, out of all of you guys, I believe that it was Kirito who got it last. That was it. Let me ask, as far as a consensus goes for everybody here, Ice Palace and the hook shot. How happy were you once you found that hook shot, that glorious hook shot that let you go through onto Swamp Palace?
Well, I don't know why I didn't go immediately to Swamp Palace, because that's what I kind of meant to do.
That's what I did.
Yeah. It was definitely good. When I went to Ice, I didn't have much left, so it was either that or like the chest site, Orphaned in Hera. So it just, yeah, it was nice. It was the first chest, not the last chest, I guess.
Yeah, I sequence broke the mountain before the Smith chain.
Hmm.
So I almost took the fire ride straight to Pendant Ice, but I was like, no, maybe Hookshot is not in Pendant Ice. And then while doing the Smith chain, I found Bombos. I was like, no, straight to Ice. Straight to Ice.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh. Well, and here, by the way, is Fred. Fred, GG's, good sir.
Hey, thank you. GG's.
So, I've already asked the other two this question, and I need your opinion too on this one.
Yeah.
Zora.
Oh, yeah. When I got that, I was like, I don't know if I'm in the lead, but I'm at least tied for the lead because I went there about as soon as anyone would go there. And finding the vanilla flippers, I'm just proud of myself for not freaking out and saving and quitting and actually checking the waterfall right there.
Right, and at that point too, it's one of those things where, and I think it was brought up earlier, it's one of those calls where, do I just spend the 500 rupees to go to Zora so I can maybe avoid Aga 1, or do I just bite the bullet and go for Aga 1?
Yeah, for me, I had a lot of Light World still open, so Aga wasn't really on the table for me at that point. I was kind of even debating it when I was in the Ice Rod Cave area. Do I even go check Zora? I know I have the gloves, but I'm just kind of glad I did. It kind of helped me in the early part of the seed.
Yeah, I did money when I was in Ice Rod Cave. When I did Zora, it was the last location, and then after Zora, I think I only had like 30 or 20 something rupees. So I went ahead and grabbed the Zora Ledge 50 rupees on my way back to Waterfall Cave, just because I needed the money. Even if I went to Pod, I needed 100 rupees. If I went to Village of Outcasts, I needed 110 for Dig Game and Chess Game. So yeah, I think I did Arrow Game like twice.
Oh wow! I remember I was doing the dig game and it was like 3 or 4 digs and I just kept farming for rupees because I knew it'd be in Pod eventually, and I had just enough to get into Pod, 10 minutes, 15 minutes later, so that was good too.
Yeah, I really do appreciate the interview and the restream. Thank you for commentating. I'm guessing Etinar. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Okay. And Bright Beginner, I know he had to step away, but sorry, y'all are welcome to continue the interview, but it is getting a little late here, so I do have to step away. But GG, Chemo, and Fred, appreciated racing against you guys.
GG's.
Yeah. GG, P-Train.
Yep, GG's, and you have yourself a good night.
You too.
Oh,
I do have a question for you guys. What was in Ice Palace? Was it the lamp or the flute?
It was a whole lot of nothing, actually.
Oh, really? I must have.
Yeah. Well, at least that we know of, because Kirito went into Ice Palace because he went over the he completely skipped over the hammer in Thieves Town.
Oh wow.
So he's been wandering around trying to figure out where his progression is, and hasn't dived back in. So we never really saw the rest of the items in Ice Palace. But the only thing I know for certain is that it was a whole lot of nothing, at least from what we've seen with the rest of it.
Oh, okay. Well, for me, it was there was two locations left, and I said I don't want to go in there. I'll just go up the mountain because I didn't have the lamp or the flute. So I'm assuming something's in there after the hook shot, but I guess you guys saw the whole race, so, or you had, God's eye.
Yeah, well, and I mean, the other thing too is nobody turned in Mushroom because nobody needed to at that point. So we don't know exactly what was on Mushroom either. And I believe, yeah, I don't believe that there was really any other big checks. We've already had a Hera check. Hera did nothing.
Magic bat, maybe red
Magic.
crystals.
I did magic bat. It was nothing.
Yeah, that one had nothing on it.
No one found lamp.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm seeing. I assumed lamp or flute was in Ice Palace, but I either I mismarked or something.
Lamp had to be somewhere.
Sure did.
Well, it looks like one of our other runners in chat found where silvers were.
Oh yeah, Desert Palace, which I was go-moding.
Yep. We found out based on the talk with Ganon that it was the hint was desert. And I'm guessing Scarlet, who is in our chat right now, I'm guessing was on the right side.
Well, it wasn't the boss.
Yeah, I think Kirito might be dying for a forfeit? Question mark.
Kirito hasn't submitted anything just yet, so I'm pretty sure that he's just redoing all of his checks. The question is, what will he do once he sees that it's in Thieves Town, and when will we get to there? That's gonna be the good question.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I mean, it was a solid race. I mean, Emo, you and Fred were neck and neck with each other. But that fall to Ganon was just oof.
Yeah, that was just, I don't know. I was not focusing. That was a terrible. I felt like I played fairly bad the whole seed, to be honest. But that Ganon fight was just like dumb.
Well, I mean, looking at your time, I would say that it's a pretty solid score. You did pretty solid the entire run. So I wouldn't say that it was bad at all. It's just, I mean, and it's one of those things when you're running and you're fighting Ganon Silverless where it's a little bit hard because you are, you have to get the swings right. Of course, you have to let the fire bet out, and if you hit the fire pat, it's just gonna hurt you. But with that, actually, we just got word Kirito officially did DNF. So he did forfeit.
If I can bring Kirito in for an interview also.
Yep.
If he wants to.
If he wants to come in, by all means, we will. But yeah, no, that like I was saying before, the fire bat, when you hit the fire bat, and you're moving towards Ganon or whatever direction, I believe someone had once said that you actually get hit into the opposite direction if you get hit by that fire bat.
It's like Kirito's gonna be joining us possibly.
So if you get hit in the opposite direction, easy enough to fall off.
Yeah, just reverses whatever momentum or inputs you have.
Yeah. Kirito, welcome. GG's.
Wish I knew where I supposed to go since I had no idea where either the hammer or the flute sets.
Do you want to know where the hammer was?
Where
It was in the first chest of Thieves Town.
that? I thought I grabbed that.
Yeah, unfortunately we saw it, and you know, our hearts and chat's hearts were pouring out to you, sending you virtual signals, but I guess it got lost in the nether, as it were, with all the stuff going on. But you know what? GG's, man. That was an excellent run.
Yeah.
Considering that I've been playing the game in almost over a year now, so it's all I did is okay, I guess.
Right. Well, I mean, you still did a great run, and any of the runners, I know anybody would say it, and chat was even saying it too. We've all missed out on chests beforehand, and or have done something much worse. You know, so don't let it disappoint you. You know, it's one of those things. We all take our hits, as it were, sometimes.
Well,
You
to
know.
be honest, right, I usually never forget a chest unless I do remember how many items are in the dungeon.
Right. You know, once again, it's just one of those things. Where, you know, usually you don't, but the one or two that happen, it's just like there's also runners too that have done so many runs beforehand, that by all means, what actually ends up happening is the runs bleed into each other. So you think that you've gone someplace, but you haven't gone someplace, and yeah.
You do have to remember I did mention that I have not played LTTP for over a year now.
Yeah, and you know what? And you know, even if you haven't played over, you did great. You know, it was an excellent
Yeah.
run. It was really nice seeing everything. You know, and you did a great job. You know, it was a solid run and solid performance. But I think with that being said, it's getting kind of late for most people. We may be starting to wrap it up here. Do our runners have anything that they would like to do? Any shout outs or anything?
Other than follow our runners on the restream and our comms and trackers.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, thanks for the restream. Thanks for commentating. Thanks for watching. GG's, everybody.
GG, guys.
GG.
GG.
GG's all around. And with that being said, like Kirito has said, please give a follow to our runners today. P-Train, Chemo, Fred, aka Durf, and Kirito. You know, show some love to them. I want to give a special shout out to our trackers today, Snakey666 and Scruff Ninja, always holding it in there. You know, tracking is a hard job. I would like to thank my co-commentator today, Bright Beginner. Thank you for coming out today and commentating with me. My name is Etnar. Thank you guys for coming to watch us. If you want to get involved with the speed gaming community, please feel free to join our Discord. Come in, hang out. We're always looking for people to come in and volunteer, either doing tracking or comms. It's a lot of fun. It's a very nice community. If you want to check out some more stuff with a link to the past randomizer, feel free to join the ALTTPR Discord. If you're new to it and want to get into the randomizer community as well, feel free to hit up that ALTTPR Discord as well. It's a very nice, welcoming community. They're great people. Would love to have you in there. Would love to see you. And I personally would love to see you in some future races. My name is Etnar. Thank you guys so very much. Everybody have yourself a great evening, day, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Have a good one, and GG's.